We got Mr. Ruth. So I'm going to take Mr. Ruth first because he's here in person. Then we'll do you. So let's move Devalen and Andrew Rodriguez to the top of the pile. And who do I have the pleasure of seeing at the jail today?
Tiana Carabella on behalf of the Public Defender's Office.
Carabella?
Carabella.
Oh, that is my cousin's last name.
It seems to be common in Florida.
They're in New York. Well, they're moving to Florida. They're moving to Florida. So Yvetta Devalen is, she's in the warrant section. We'll move her up. And then Andrew Rodriguez is a couple behind that.
Your Honor, there are a few matters that may need to be addressed first.
Hold on, we're off the record though. Hold on.
Okay.
I was about to ask that.
Just with regard to the order.
I can hear things, and it seems like we might have had an agreement on. Yesterday we had two. I had two that were PBLs that we kicked till today. It seems like you guys had discussed that, Ms. Day and Ms. Carabella.
Yes.
That's correct, Judge.
So are we addressing, and are we doing that?
Judge,
today?
the state is just asking for the preliminary finding based upon the four corners of the affidavit. There's plenty there.
We're going to call it again. I just need to know, like, you guys.
Yes, it's just a preliminary finding.
Okay. What's on yours, Barbara? Mr. Barber, sorry. Mr. Barber.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Judge? I heard what's words.
On your case, obviously it's a PBL. Do you want the court to address proof evidence presumption grade one, or you want to kick it to the trial judge?
At this time, I have not been able to use the application for the warrant, so I prefer to address that at a later time, or maybe more time to prepare.
Okay. Do you want, well, I think if you want to move your IA till tomorrow or Monday, or you want to just do it with the trial judge. You don't have to answer that now when we call your case in a second.
I'll think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. You have about 3 minutes. So.
Perfect. I'll check the calendar.
All right. Okay, we are on the record. It is 2012-2021. We're here for initial appearance in Osceola County. Let me get appearances. And we'll start with the state.
Lauren Day, Assistant State Attorney.
Tiana Carabella, Public Defender's Office.
Officer Pat Hill on behalf of PTR.
And we'll call the private attorneys when your cases are called. Excellent. And I believe the first case is a attorney case. I have Yvetta Devalen.
And for the record, Attorney Jay Ruth on behalf of Ms. Devalen.
Your Honor, yes, she hasn't been brought up yet. The females are going to be brought up in the second group starting at 1:30.
We have a second group here? Okay. All right.
The court consider addressing it without her being present. We're just asking for a $1,000 bond and to comply with the conditions set out, I guess, by pretrial release of abide by the injunction, no contact with victim.
All right. Can I get a history?
She has no prior arrest, Your Honor, and she does qualify per Florida Statute 907.041 subsection 3A. She meets the criteria for PTR with bond.
I'm going to set her bond at, or I'm going to find that there's probable cause. I'm going to set her bond at $100 with PTR. I'm going to do no contact.
Judge, if I may, I don't mean to interrupt, but I do want to point this out that she has family in New York that because her home that her brother is now residing in is where she lives, so she may end up going up north. So we'd ask for a straight bond rather than pretrial release, only because of the fact that she may end up going up north with her family because her home is being occupied by her brother, who is the alleged victim in this case.
Your Honor, check-in is done solely by phone. So it doesn't matter if she's in New York or Alaska, she can still check in with pretrial release.
I'm not putting any restriction on travel out of the state in my condition. So do you want to consider your...
I don't see any reason for a pretrial release on something that she can post a higher bond, a $1,000 bond. In the past, I've had trouble with pretrial release with my clients. I'd like to avoid that if possible. You can just post a straight up monetary bond, Judge.
Orange County, that's the old one.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll do $1,000 bond. Straight bonds, no contact with victim, maintain separate residence. Her home address is in Brooklyn, building 2.
Her home address is actually here, Judge, is the house, the Pincon Lane of where the incident occurred. Her brother came into town and took over her home, but there is a secondary home that she does reside in, and I can put on the record, Judge, is her actual address. I don't know why the record was indicating New York, and her brother gave that. But for now, if I can put it on the record, it's 2159 Standing Rock Circle, Winter Garden, Florida 34787 is where she'll be residing. And obviously, if she moves back up north while this is pending, we'll notify the court. Yes, ma'am. 2159 Standing Rock Circle, Winter Garden, Florida 34787.
Next date? Let's see the next one, Andrew Rodriguez.
Thank you, Judge.
If you want to leave, you can leave.
Can I get paperwork now? Or no?
Yeah, I'll sign. I'll sign. Okay. All right, can I get Andrew Rodriguez, please?
Andrew Rodriguez? He has to be brought forward, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Barber, I think you're hooked into the audio system, so you should be able to hear everything.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge. I heard everything.
Yeah. Like he projects his voice. He does a good job on projecting.
Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you. You too.
And Your Honor, he is going to need an interpreter.
Oh, okay.
I apologize, Judge. I should have informed you of that. It just happened.
He was in the interpreter pile. Don't worry.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Royo, State Certified Interpreter, already previously sworn.
We are in IAs in Osceola. The first case is 2021 CF 339. So, Ms. Barber, you want to put your appearance on?
Michael Barber, Mr. Rodriguez.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Your name and date of birth, please.
Señor, buenas tardes. Diga su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor. Me?
Sí,
You're referring to me?
Andro Rodríguez,
Andrew Rodriguez.
11-10-1993.
11/10/1993.
You hear everything okay, Mr. Barber? All right. All right. Do you want me to read the charges, or are you waiving the reading?
I'll wait for you.
Okay. Mr. Rodriguez, you are here based on an arrest affidavit that, or an arrest warrant, I'm sorry, that another judge has already found probable cause on.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm having difficulty hearing. It's a little bit muffled.
Yeah, because I'm wearing a mask. I said you're here on an arrest warrant that another judge has already found probable cause on.
Usted se encuentra aquí debido a una orden de arresto de otro juez donde se determinó ya que existen indicios de criminalidad.
So we are here to discuss the conditions of release, if any.
Por lo tanto, nos encontramos aquí para hablar con respecto a las condiciones de libertad, si es que van a haber alguna.
Ms. Day, what's your position?
But, Your Honor, the state would request that the court make a preliminary finding that proof is evident and presumption great in this case and hold the defendant no bond pending an evidentiary hearing if necessary.
Su señoría, la Fiscalía solicita que determine que existe, que la prueba de culpabilidad y los indicios de culpabilidad son contundentes y suficientes para no concederle a él fianza en esta causa hasta que se celebre una audiencia probatoria.
So that was preliminary finding of proof evident presumption great, Mr. Barber. What's your position?
Licenciado, ¿cuál es la postura de usted?
Hold on. Let her translate. Hold on.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, could you repeat that again for the interpreter?
I said the state is asking for preliminary determination of proof evident presumption great. What's your position, Mr. Barber?
La Fiscalía está solicitando que se haga un hallazgo preliminar con respecto a la prueba evidente, la presunción contundente. ¿Cuál es la postura suya, licenciado?
Mr. Barber? Could you hear him, Laura?
I cannot hear anything at all. I hear silence.
The defense's position would be to object, Your Honor. Under statute 907.041, the state has to submit a written motion seeking pretrial detention.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Your Honor. It's extremely difficult. Some words are coming through, not everything.
Mr. Barber, do you want her to translate all your legal argument for your client?
As burdensome as it might be, Judge, I think it's for the best to grab the situation.
Hold on.
And I'll do my best to
Wait,
shorten
hold on.
it.
Wait, no. Hold on. I think Metro can fix this problem. Just give me a second.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. If someone's waiting for an interpretation, I didn't hear anything.
No, we're not. We're
Okay.
trying to get. We're trying to change the device settings. Just give me 1 second. So, I'm just going to repeat everything you say for the translator. All right, so just speak in short sentences and I'll repeat it.
Thank you. So the defense would object, Your Honor.
Su señoría, la defensa protesta.
Under statute 907.041,
En conformidad al artículo de ley 907.041,
the state is supposed to file a written motion if they intend to seek pretrial detention.
le toca a la Fiscalía interponer una solicitud por escrito si la intención de ellos va a ser solicitar la prisión preventiva.
And no written motion has been presented at this time.
Y por ahora no se ha presentado todavía ningún escrito.
And so the defense feels that this time Mr. Rodriguez is entitled to a reasonable bond.
Y por lo tanto, la defensa considera que en este momento dado el señor Rodríguez tiene derecho a una fianza razonable.
Now, defense counsel has not seen the affidavit for the arrest warrant yet.
El abogado de la defensa todavía no ha tenido la oportunidad de ver el affidavit con respecto a la orden de arresto.
But we do believe that this is a case where the state is proceeding on a principle theory.
Pero consideramos que esto es un caso donde la Fiscalía está procediendo con respecto a la teoría del principio.
Mr. Rodriguez has no prior violent history at all.
El señor Rodríguez no tiene antecedente penal violento en absoluto.
His only prior criminal history is for misdemeanor cannabis possession.
El único antecedente previo es de tenencia de cannabis como delito menor.
He has never failed to appear for a court date and would appear to all court dates, Your Honor.
En ningún momento dado ha faltado el comparecer en cualquier vista en juzgado, ante un juzgado y comparecerá ante cada una.
And so for today's hearing, the defense requests that you set bond at the amount of $20,000 for count one.
Para propósitos de la audiencia de hoy, la defensa está solicitando que su señoría fije la fianza con respecto al primer cargo en $20,000.
And $5,000 for count two and count three, respectively.
Y $5,000 con respecto al segundo cargo.
The defense believes that those bond amounts are sufficient to ensure his presence at all court dates.
La defensa considera que esas cifras de fianza serán suficientes para asegurar que él comparezca en cada vista ante el juzgado.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have for this moment.
Su señoría, eso es todo lo que tengo por ahora.
Day?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is requesting that based upon the case law as well as Rule 3.132 and Florida Statute 907.041,
Sí, su señoría, la Fiscalía está solicitando que, en conformidad con la jurisprudencia y la regla 3.232, además del artículo de ley 907.041,
Mistake me, yell.
can you hear me now, Mr. Barber?
Now I can, yes, thank you.
I had said that the state is requesting pursuant to Rule 3.132, as well as the statute that you cited, that the court make a preliminary finding of probable cause based upon the 12-page arrest warrant.
¿Me escucha usted, licenciado? Indiqué que, en conformidad a la regla 3.132 y citando el artículo de ley que usted mencionó, el 907.041, solicitamos al juzgado que determine que existe un fallo preliminar para sustentar los indicios de criminalidad en conformidad a el informe de arresto de 12 páginas.
That proof evident presumption great does exist in this case. The court may, based upon the well-established case law, make a preliminary finding on the four corners of the affidavit.
Y que, en conformidad a el hecho de que la prueba de culpabilidad es evidente y la presunción es contundente, el juzgado puede determinar en este caso dado que se estableció con respecto a la jurisprudencia fallo de preliminar con respecto a los 4 puntos en conformidad a este asunto.
And hold the defendant on zero bond until an evidentiary hearing is held.
Y tener detenido al inculpado sin derecho a fianza hasta que se lleve a cabo una audiencia probatoria.
Further, Rule 3.132 gives the state up to 3 days to file a motion for pretrial detention after initial appearances.
Además, en conformidad a la ley 3.132, dicha ley concede a la Fiscalía 3 días para interponer un pedimento con respecto a la prisión preventiva después que se haya llevado a cabo la vista de primera instancia.
And if the state does not intend to file a motion for pretrial detention, the court should inquire that at initial appearances and then determine conditions of release.
Y si la Fiscalía decide que no tiene la intención de presentar un pedimento con respecto a la prisión preventiva, el juez podrá solicitar que I'm sorry, counsel, could you repeat the second part of your statement?
I'm not sure which part you left off at.
If the state decided that they did not want to file a motion for a pretrial release,
Yes, if the state decides not to file a motion for pretrial release, the court should indicate that at initial appearances and then determine conditions of release if appropriate.
y si la Fiscalía decide que no desea interponer un pedimento con respecto a la prisión preventiva, entonces el juez debería de indicar ello el día de la vista de primera instancia y establecer las condiciones que consideren que corresponden.
Because the time has not yet passed for the state to file that motion, if defense is objecting to the preliminary finding and based upon Mr. Rodriguez facing capital offenses, the state would ask that he be held zero bond pending filing of that motion and a hearing.
You hear her?
Yes, hold on a second. Okay. Y debido al hecho que no ha transcurrido tiempo para tener que interponer el pedimento, la Fiscalía está en contra a que se determine el fallo preliminar, ya que él está enfrentando condena de cadena perpetua y por lo tanto, si no se va a conceder fianza, se solicita que se lleve a cabo la audiencia. I'm sorry?
I was saying, hold on. Okay. Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Barber?
Thank you, Judge. Sorry, it's just, I didn't mean to talk over. It's just hard. So under Rule 3.132,
En conformidad a la regla 3.132,
which does state it must be a written motion,
en la cual sí consta que tiene que ser un pedimento realizado por escrito,
it goes on to state that if no such motion is filed at the time of initial appearance,
y manifiesta que si no se presenta tal pedimento el día de la vista de primera instancia,
and if the state has said that they intend to file a motion for pretrial detention, which they've done here,
y si la Fiscalía indica que tiene la intención de interponer un pedimento con respecto a la prisión preventiva, lo cual ya han hecho aquí hoy día,
the court can grant the state no more than 3 days to file a motion.
el juzgado le puede conceder a la Fiscalía no más de 3 días para radicar tal pedimento.
It goes on to say, upon a showing by the state of probable cause,
Y luego, además, indica que una vez que la Fiscalía ha presentado indicios de criminalidad,
that the defendant committed the offense,
es decir, que el inculpado cometió el ilícito,
and exigent circumstances,
y además, a través de pruebas eximientes,
the defendant shall be detained in custody pending the filing of the motion.
el inculpado se encuentra detenido esperando el pedimento de esa custodia.
I would argue, Your Honor, that despite the fact that probable cause was found already by a prior judge,
Argumento, su señoría, que aún habiendo un juez previo determinado ya que existe indicios de criminalidad,
that there has been nothing placed on the record today to show any exigency to justify holding Mr. Rodriguez for the 3 days while the state waits to file their motion.
que no se ha logrado demostrar nada aquí hoy día en actas que sea exigente de que se conceda esos 3 días esperando a que se interponga ese pedimento.
And that's the end of my response at this time, Judge.
Y esa es la respuesta que tengo en este momento dado, su señoría.
Ms. Day, do you intend to file a pretrial detention?
Yes, Your Honor, and the state would again argue that probable cause has been established as well within.
Es la intención de la Fiscalía de interponer ese pedimento de prisión preventiva, sí, su señoría, y además que ya se estableció los indicios de criminalidad.
And the case law has established that where the court finds probable cause within the 4 corners of the affidavit, that the defendant should be held with no bond.
Y si a través de jurisprudencia se logra demostrar que existen indicios de criminalidad en conformidad a los 4 puntos de la affidavit, el inculpado se tendría que encontrar detenido sin derecho a fianza.
So do I have 2 avenues to walk through to hold no bond? 1, a preliminary finding, or 2, the 3-day? Is that your argument?
Su argumento es que yo tengo 2 vías posibles para realizar mi fallo, uno con respecto a un hallazgo preliminar y el otro con respecto a que no finding, did you say at the end, Your Honor?
The 3 days.
Y el otro que tengo 3 días para concederlo.
Your Honor, at first appearances, if Your Honor finds if there is probable cause based on a preliminary finding, the defendant can be held no bond. Also,
Su señoría, en las vistas de primera instancia, si el juez determina a través de los indicios de criminalidad, que existen indicios de criminalidad a través de una audiencia preliminar,
there is an option for the state to file a motion for pretrial detention, but pretrial detention motions don't always have to be filed since they do apply to any of the enumerated offenses.
Sorry, counsel, you're going to need to break it down for the interpreter, please.
I apologize. Do you want me to start over?
Yes, please.
Okay. A pretrial detention motion can be filed for any of the enumerated offenses in Section 907.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The audio completely cut off.
She said a pretrial detention motion can be filed for any of the enumerated offenses in statute
907.
907.
Un pedimento de prisión preventiva se podrá interponer para cualquiera de los ilícitos enumerados en el artículo de ley 907.
I don't think anybody's disputing that you can file it.
Nadie está poniendo en cuestión el hecho que usted puede interponerlo.
You've established here that you intend on filing it.
Usted ha establecido ya aquí hoy que es la intención suya de interponerlo.
And I think my question was, so I can make a preliminary finding today and hold no bond if I find it with evident presumption great.
Creo que la pregunta fue si yo puedo emitir un fallo preliminar aquí, hoy día, con respecto a no concederle fianza si se demuestra que la presunción de culpabilidad es contundente y la prueba evidente.
Or I can hold him no bond for 3 days until that hearing occurs, or that motion is filed.
O puedo tenerlo a él detenido por 3 días sin derecho a fianza hasta que se lleve a cabo esa audiencia.
Once you've indicated that you intend on filing it and there are exigent circumstances.
Una vez que usted ha indicado que será su intención de interponerlo y a circunstancias exigentes.
I think that's an accurate statement of the law, unless I'm mistaken.
Creo que he pronunciado debidamente la ley, al menos que me haya equivocado.
And I'm sure one of you will tell me if I'm wrong on that.
Creo que uno de ustedes dos me indicará si me equivoqué.
Your
I
Honor,
hope you will.
Your Honor, yes, technically, once there is probable cause, the court can then either make a preliminary finding, or if the preliminary finding of proof evident presumption great is not there, and the state makes that indication, you can also hold no bond for 3 days for the state to file a motion.
Sí, su señoría. Técnicamente, si se determina que existen indicios de criminalidad, usted puede hacer un hallazgo preliminar o puede emitir un fallo preliminar. Si no existe ahí, entonces se concedería 3 días para que la fiscalía podría interponer su solicitud.
Per the rule, you would have to prove exigent circumstances.
Pero como parte de dicha norma, le tocaría a usted presentar pruebas exigentes.
No, Your Honor, the pretrial detention motion should just outline with specificity the reasons why the state would be seeking pretrial detention, and then an evidentiary hearing would be had.
No, en conformidad al pedimento de prisión preventiva, la Fiscalía tendría la obligación de enumerar todos sus puntos para que se pueda entonces llevar a cabo la audiencia con respecto a esa prisión preventiva.
But that's once a motion is filed.
Pero eso es después que se haya interpuesto un pedimento.
Yes, Your Honor, the standard right now is just probable cause.
Sí, su señoría, el criterio en este momento dado es simplemente indicios de criminalidad.
And I do have 2 cases I would like to put on the record if Your Honor would allow.
Y si su señoría me permitiese, deseo hacer constar en actas 2 casos de jurisprudencia.
The first case is Omar Wezaza v. State. The citation is 222 Southern 3rd 3, 4th DCA.
El primero es el caso del Estado contra Omar Rosales, 22 sur 3 del Tribunal de Apelación del Cuarto Distrito.
The second case is Gray v. State. The citation 257 Southern 3rd 477 4th DCA.
El siguiente es el Estado contra Gray, 257 sur 3 477 con el Tribunal de Apelación del Cuarto Distrito.
I think we're saying different things.
Creo que estamos diciendo cosas diferentes.
I can definitely hold him no bond if I make a finding of proof evident presumption great, and we're going in circles. I would make that finding here. When you're finding a proof evident presumption great based on the 4 corners of the affidavit.
Basado en los 4 puntos de la affidavit, yo puedo determinar que no se le conceda fianza teniendo en cuenta la presunción de la presunción es contundente y las pruebas evidentes.
But I think there's a second way based on the rule that I'm reading, which says if you just say I'm going to file it 3 days, you have to prove exigent circumstances for 3 days. To postpone the hearing to 3 days.
pero hay una segunda manera, si es leído bien el reglamento, y es que le toca a usted indicar que va a interponer la solicitud para solicitar esos 3 días.
Regardless, I'm going to hold no bond on all 3 counts. I'm going to make the finding of proof evident presumption great.
Da igual, yo voy a tenerlo detenido sin derecho a fianza con respecto a las 3 cargos y emito un fallo que la presunción de culpabilidad es contundente y la prueba evidente.
Sure, Mr. Barber will file a motion.
Could I?
You want to put an objection on the record?
I have a copy of the warrant. I still have not had access to that, Judge, to make full proper arguments.
Sure.
And I was hoping for a chance to maybe read the case law and respond, but I understand if you've already ruled.
Su señoría, yo quería tener la oportunidad de poder leer la jurisprudencia antes de tener que responder, pero entiendo que usted ya ha emitido su fallo.
Let's, can we get him a copy of the affidavit?
Yes, what's the best way to do that?
I can send it to him, Judge. It's just not showing a notice of appearance in benchmark, so it didn't come through our case management, but I can get that to him if...
Su señoría, yo se lo puedo enviar, es que simplemente en la base de datos no figuraba que presentó el auto de personación, pero no hay problema, yo se lo puedo enviar.
I'm Barbara.
devotedjustice.com. And sorry, Judge, the case is on the clerk site yet, so I haven't been able to get a case number to file a notice of appearance yet. I've been looking.
Su señoría, el caso no sale todavía en la base de datos de la Secretaría, por lo tanto no he logrado encontrar el número de causa, lo estoy buscando.
Ready for the case number?
Yes, Judge, please.
All right, 2021 CF 339.
¿Listo para anotar el número de caso? Sí, su señoría, 21CF331.
So I'm Barbara at devotedjustice.com. We'll get that to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Well, thank you. Hey, listen to that Johnny Cash album.
I will. Yeah, you see that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a good Lunar New Year.
Yeah. Okay, you too.
Bye, Judge. Thank you.
Let's continue for Spanish language ones. The next one I have is Manuel Cortez Reyes.
He's approaching, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you. And just, I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender at Ms. Carabella and her office to represent everyone else, unless I hear you've retained private counsel, okay?
Se designará defensor público a todas las causas, al menos que hubo de ustedes que han contratado abogado particular.
All right. Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
A ver, señor, su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Manuel Cortés Reyes, julio 27 del 78.
I'm sorry, the interpreter is going to confirm. ¿Dijo usted 78 o 68?
78.
Manuel Cortés Reyes, July 27, 78.
Your Honor, the state is asking for ROR.
Su señoría, la fiscalía está solicitando caución juratoria.
I gotta find probable cause first.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, could you
I gotta
repeat
find
that?
probable cause first.
Primero tengo que determinar si existen indicios de criminalidad para sustentarlo.
Okay, sir, you're charged with 1 count of operating a motor vehicle without valid driver's license.
Señora, usted se le está acusando de conducir un vehículo motor sin tener licencia válida.
I reviewed the arrest affidavit. I find that there's probable cause.
He leído el informe de arresto y determino que existen indicios de criminalidad para sustentar la acusación.
I'm going to order you released on your own recognizance.
Se ordena que se le conceda libertad bajo caución juratoria.
I'm going to also, as a condition of release, say you no operating a motor vehicle.
También, como condición de su libertad, ordenaré que esté prohibido usted conducir un vehículo motor
Without a valid driver's license.
sin tener usted una licencia válida.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Next court date, March 19th at 9:30 a.m.
La próxima vista será el 19 de marzo a las 9:30 de la mañana.
¿Para mí?
Is that for me?
¿Por mí?
Yes.
Sí.
19 de marzo.
March the 19th?
Yes.
Sí.
Está bien.
That young
Very
lady
well.
next to you is your lawyer. She'll have all the information.
Esa señorita que está ahí al lado suyo es la abogada. Ella tendrá toda esa información para usted.
Está bien.
Very well.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias, caballero.
De nada.
Thank you.
Okay, Ramon Valentin.
He needs to be brought forward, Your Honor.
Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Señor, indique su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Ramón Valentín, junio 5 de 2022.
Raymond Valentin, June 5, 92.
And Mr. Valentin, you're here on one count of aggravated battery.
Señor Valentín, usted se encuentra aquí por un cargo de agresión física con agravantes.
I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I find that there's probable cause.
He leído el informe de arresto y determino que existe indicios de criminalidad.
I'm going to set your bond at $10,000.
Se fijará la fianza en $10,000.
Order no contact with the victim.
Ordeno que esté prohibido tener ningún tipo de contacto con la víctima.
And I also order you to maintain a separate residence.
Y también ordeno que no puede convivir con la víctima. Okay.
Your Honor, the state would ask for no weapons or firearms as well.
Su señoría, la fiscalía también solicita que esté prohibido armas o armas de fuego.
Thank you, Ms. A. Also, no weapons or firearms.
Muy bien, entonces también prohibido armas o armas de fuego.
Next date.
On demand.
Thank you, sir.
La próxima vista será por notificación. Gracias, señor.
All right. Nathaniel Vasquez Escaín.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I lost audio again.
Sorry, Nathaniel Vasquez Escaín. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Your name and date of birth, please.
Buenas tardes, señor. Diga su nombre y fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Nathaniel Vázquez, nacido el 19 de agosto del 96.
Good afternoon. My name is Nathaniel Vasquez, and I was born August the 19th of 96.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. You're here on one count for battery.
Buenas tardes, señor. Se encuentra usted aquí por un cargo de agresión física.
I've reviewed the arrest affidavit.
He estudiado el informe de arresto.
Like something. I will find probable cause.
Se determina que existe indicios de criminalidad.
Officer Hill, can I get a history, please?
¿Me podría usted, por favor, indicar el historial?
Yes, Your Honor. He has one prior, 2019, carrying a concealed weapon, resisting without violence, and possession of marijuana.
Sí, su señoría. Él tiene un antecedente previo del 2019 por portar un arma oculta, desobediencia a la autoridad y tenencia de marihuana.
The resisting without violence and the possession of marijuana are the charges that were filed on.
Las acusaciones que se interpusieron fueron el de desobediencia a la autoridad y tenencia de marihuana.
And that case is currently open.
Y ese caso actualmente es...
And he has...
Hello? I lost audio again.
Hello?
Okay. I'm sorry, I lost audio. It just dropped.
Oh,
Hello?
We're here.
he has a pretrial conference set for May 13th with Judge Laurent.
Él tiene una vista preparatoria que se ha fijado para el 13 de mayo ante la juez Laurent.
Not anymore. She got elevated. But I'm going to find set bond at $2,500. I'm going to order no contact with the victim.
Se fijará la fianza en $2,500 y se ordena que esté prohibido tener ningún tipo de contacto con la víctima.
No weapons or firearms.
Prohibido armas o armas de fuego.
That's it.
Eso es todo.
Next date.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else there needs Spanish interpreter, Ms. Carabella?
From my understanding, that'll be all, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.
I apologize, Your Honor. It seemed the audio kept coming in and out.
I think we were having audio problems today.
Okay. Thank you. The interpreter will disconnect.
It's okay. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the out-of-county warrants. First one I have is Raphael Saunders. Sorry. Afternoon, sir. Your name and date of birth, please.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Raphael Saunders. Born in 2000.
Sir, what day?
September 18th.
All right. Can you get a little bit closer to the mic?
I apologize.
No, it's okay. Mr. Saunders, you are here for an out-of-county warrant out of Pasco County.
Yes, sir. I was never aware I had any court date. But if I was never aware that I had any court date, sir. And that's why it just popped up out of nowhere.
I understand, sir. The judge in that case set your bond at $2,513.
Yeah. I don't mean anything.
I can't change it because that's an out-of-county warrant, so we'll let Pasco County know, but you can obviously bond out.
I apologize.
Your Honor, for clarification, the bond is being stayed at $2,513?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Will I qualify for ROS? I never been in prior no trouble at all, and I wasn't aware of this.
Your Honor, I can further explain.
Okay, yeah, sir. It's out of Pasco County, and obviously I'm on the 9th Circuit. It's a different circuit, so I wouldn't have that jurisdiction. Next one I have is Truman White. Name and date of birth, sir.
Truman White, June 21st, 95 is my date of birth.
All right, Mr. White, you're here for an out-of-county warrant out of Polk County. The judge in that case has set your bond at no bond, so it'll stay.
How long do they have to come get me?
We'll let him know. I think they'll come pretty quickly.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Is there a rule on how long they actually have to come get it?
Only for extradition for within our state, usually not, but they usually come about 10 days.
Yeah. Next one I have is Blake Burnett.
He's not in the chapel, Your Honor.
Okay. So did he bond out? I'm gonna put that in like that. You say he's not there, right?
No, Your Honor, he's not here.
Okay. Let's go to the warrants next. We have Whitney Michelle Barton.
Your Honor, the women are still not brought in yet.
Okay. So, Kyle Haskett.
He's going to be brought forward, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, for the court's information, he was Baker acted upon arrest.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Afternoon, sir. What's your name and date of birth?
November 20th, 1995. Kyle Haskett.
All right, Mr. Haskett. Good afternoon. You're here for a warrant signed by another judge already, a bench warrant. She set your bond at $2,999, and I'll stay that bond.
Could you repeat that, sir? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. A judge had already signed a bench warrant. That's why you're here.
Okay.
Set your bond at $2,999.
Okay.
So that's your bond.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Next
Appreciate you.
court
Take care.
date, February 18th at 8:05.
Least, oh, the women aren't up here, right? Okay. So we're Sean Fleck.
He's in mental health, Your Honor. He's not up here, right? He refused to come up, Your Honor.
This is his first day.
But Your Honor, just for the record, he has been previously deemed incompetent, so there are comp concerns moving forward. I would be asking for PTR with mental health conditions.
State. What's your waiving appearance?
Yes, we can waive his arraignment.
Okay. Appearance. Arraignment. And just because you said PTR with mental health conditions?
PTR with mental health conditions?
Okay.
Your Honor, at this point, this morning, he was on psych observation, so we're unaware of if he's a harm to himself or others. If he is a harm to himself or others, he would not qualify for PTR. He needs to be in a more stable mindset. So at this point, he would not qualify.
Your Honor, the state would be asking for a few things in the alternative. If the public defender has been approved and is going to waive his initial appearance, then
Yes.
then the state would ask that the bond be stayed, or in the alternative, if he qualifies, if he's evaluated and qualifies for PTR, mental health PTR, then that be the alternative.
We can definitely check into it, and
So we'll do PTR with mental health if he qualifies. If not, we'll put bond at 500 on count 1, which is battery, 250 on count 2. In order, no contact with the victim and no return to scene, no drugs or alcohol, weapons or firearms.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Christopher Lute.
He's being brought forward, Your Honor.
Thank you. Afternoon, sir. Name and date of birth, please.
August 14th, 1978.
That's my birthday. So, sir, you're here on 2 cases. The first case, you are charged with 5 counts. First is aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer. Second one is battery on a law enforcement officer. Third is resisting arrest without violence. Fourth is trafficking methamphetamines. Fifth is possession or use of drug paraphernalia. I have reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find that there is probable cause for those charges. On the second case, you were charged with 1 count of fleeing or eluding a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens active. Excuse me. I have reviewed that arrest affidavit and will find probable cause. I will set your bond on the first case on count 1, 2,500, count 2, 5,000, count 3, 1,000, count 4, 100,000, count 5, 1,000. Total bond is 109,500 on that case. On the second case, I'll find probable cause and I'll set your bond at 500. So your total bond for both cases is 110,000. order no drugs, alcohol, controlled substances without prescription. Thank you. Next date.
On demand.
All right. Colton Watkins.
He's approaching, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we're going to waive the reading of these charges.
Okay. All right, Mr. Watkins, name and date of birth, please.
Colton Watkins, 04/21/1992.
Mr. Watkins, I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I do find there's probable cause for the charge. Officer Hill, can I get a history, please? Well, beyond the...
Yes, Your Honor, I can do that. He has no Florida priors. He does have priors out of the state of Georgia dating back to 2012. And he currently is out on bond out of the state of Georgia for a burglary. I spoke with the clerk of court there this morning. And he has charges out of Louisiana as well.
I'll set your bond on this charge at $1,000.
For clarification, Your Honor, was that 1,000?
$1,000.
Thank you.
They're muted, but next date.
On demand.
I apologize, sir. There's two groups today, so the females are in the second group. All right, Rashard Brown, this is a re-IA.
Your Honor, he's still in the hospital.
All right, do you waive or do you?
We can waive and have his charges read.
Okay. You want me to read his charges? There's 5 cases.
Yes, please.
All right, so Carabella, you're gaining points, and then you're making me read them all. All right, so case 1, we have 3 counts: resisting arrest without violence, burglary of a dwelling, and criminal mischief. I've reviewed that affidavit. I find that there's probable cause. On case 2, fleeing, 3 counts again, fleeing with disregard to safety, to persons or property. Count 2 is operating a motor vehicle without valid driver's license. Count 3 is reckless driving. I'll set bond on count 1 at $1,500. Bond on count 2 at $500. Bond on count 3 at $500. Total bond there is $2,500. Did I say the bonds on the first case?
No.
Okay. So let me go back and do that. So on case 1, first count $500. Count 2 is $7,500. Count 3 is $1,000. The condition on that one will be no return to the scene. On case 2, the condition will be no operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Third case, a judge has already found probable cause. The charges are carjacking with a deadly weapon. Count 2 is robbery with weapon. Count 3 is grand theft. Count 4 is aggravated assault with intent to commit a felony.
And Judge, this case is my case, and I did file a motion for pretrial detention on this case.
I was about to come to you, Ms. Day.
Yes, I just saw it. It just showed up in benchmark, so it is there now.
Okay, Ms. Carabella.
Your Honor, I was not prepared to go on the motion for pretrial detention.
All right.
It'll just be set for a hearing in front of Judge Young, Judge.
Okay. So I'll hold him no bond on those and order as conditions on, well, I'll hold no bond on count 1 and count 2. On count 3 and 4, $10,000 each. The conditions would be no contact with the alleged victim and not return to the scene of the offense. The fourth case, there's 2 counts, possession of cocaine and possession of use of drug paraphernalia. Find probable cause on both those. Count 1 is 2,500. Count 2 is 500. Conditions: no drugs, alcohol, or controlled substances without a prescription. And the last case is leaving the scene of an accident with property damage. Reviewed that. Find there's probable cause. We'll set bond at 500. Next.
On demand, in all cases.
Well, probably a pretrial detention hearing soon. The next one I have is a REIA, David Fernandez.
He's approaching, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
He's approaching, Your Honor.
Ms. Day, this is, and Ms. Carabella, this is, I'll say a co-defendant to the case we heard earlier. So, Mr. Fernandez, name and date of birth, please.
David Fernandez, 6/23/1989.
All right. Ms. Carabella, do you want me to read the charges?
Yes.
He would like his charges read, Your Honor.
You would?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, you're charged with 3 counts. A judge has already found probable cause on these, but charge 1 is murder. Charge 2 is murder. Charge 3 is home invasion robbery. Ms. Day?
Your Honor, the state is asking that the court make the preliminary finding that proof is evident and presumption is great in this case and hold the defendant no bond along with the co-defendant.
Ms. Carabella?
No argument right now. Defense is not requesting a bond at this time. Counsel will set an Arthur hearing at a later time.
All right, so you put a hold no bond on all 3 counts. Next one I have is Joshua Quick, also a REIA.
He's not present here, Your Honor.
You waive, Ms. Carabella?
Can I ask that this one be reset, Your Honor?
Sure. Portal reset, so does it go to Saturday or does it go to Monday?
Saturday.
Saturday. So you will see Judge Beamick tomorrow. Denise Beamick, not John. Yeah, that's all I have for males, for males.
Yes, correction said that they are going to be bringing in the female momentarily.
Okay. Just to make sure there's nobody else there who didn't called.
Judge, did we reset Blake Burnett? It was a warrant. I had put it off to the
I
side.
believe Mr. Burnett, they said he wasn't there.
Okay.
It looked like he had a fairly low bond, so I'm
500.
he bonded out.
Okay.
Looks like they're ready. We all ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's go on the record. Court will appoint the public defender on all cases unless a private attorney appears otherwise. Or unless you tell me otherwise and a private attorney appears today. First case I'm going to call is Evelyn Henderson.
She's approaching, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can I get your name and date of birth, please?
Evelyn Henderson, April 8, 1976.
Hold on, before you do it, let's just do appearances again, just in case this is a new group. So we'll start with the state.
Lauren Day, Assistant State Attorney.
Tiana Carabella from the Public Defender's Office.
Officer Pat Hill on behalf of PTR.
And I'm Judge Madrigal. Nice to see everybody this afternoon. All right, so Ms. Henderson, you are facing 1 count of battery. I've reviewed the arrest affidavit. I find that there is probable cause. Afternoon, sir.
Hello.
What's your name?
Wayne McDonald.
Sorry?
Wayne McDonald.
Okay, Mr. McDonald, can you do me a favor, raise your right hand for me? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, sir, and you are the alleged victim in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so is there something you'd like to say?
No, I don't really, if possible, I don't want to have any personal charges against her, and I prefer to just take her home if possible.
Your Honor, that was inaudible.
He said he prefers not to press charges against her, and if possible, take her home today.
Or just take her home, if possible. I don't.
All right, Mr. McDonald. Today is not about like the ultimate outcome of the case. It's merely about if there's enough to charge, and then setting conditions of release.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to ask these two ladies. They might have questions for you. Miss Day, we'll start with you.
Are you currently in fear of Miss Henderson?
No.
Okay, do you wish to have contact with her?
Yes.
Okay, do you all currently live together?
Yeah, hold on, Mr. McDonald.
Do you,
So even, and I know because you're a well-mannered individual,
Sorry,
you like to face her,
this at all.
but the microphone is that little dot there.
Okay.
So although I know in normal speech we talk to each other, looking at each other, just focus on that microphone so they can hear you.
Okay.
Thanks.
you can,
Your last question.
okay,
Is
do
your
you
last
all,
question?
do you all currently live together?
No, I don't.
Okay. If an incident were to occur in the future, do you feel comfortable calling for help?
Yes, I do.
No further questions from the state.
Ms. Carabella?
No questions from defense, Your Honor.
Ms. Day, what are you asking for?
A reasonable bond or PTR if she qualifies and no hostile contact.
All right, so the court will set your bond at $50 with PTR. So that's pretrial release. I'm going to order no hostile contact with Mr. McDonald. That means you guys can talk, but you can't yell at each other, okay? But no hostile contact, but you can have contact. Okay? Any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, next date. All right, thank you, Mr. McDonald. Okay, next one I have is Whitney Michelle Barton.
She's approaching, Your Honor.
All right, name and date of birth, ma'am.
7586.
All right, Ms. Barton, you're here on a warrant for a violation of probation. So another judge has already found probable cause. Set your bond at $2,500. That's where I'll keep it. Okay.
We cannot hear that, Your Honor.
February 25th at 8:05 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, next one I have is Lisa Pintado. Afternoon, ma'am. Your name and your date of birth, please.
April 10th, 78.
Hey, Ms. Pintado, you're here on a violation of probation. Another judge has already found probable cause for those charges and set your bond at no bond.
Next court date, February 25th at 8:05 a.m.
Alessandra de Agostino. Alessandra de Agostino. Afternoon, ma'am. Your name and your date of birth, please.
Alessandra D'Agostino, July 27th, 1969.
Mr. Agostino, you are here on one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Officer Hill, she qualifies for PTO.
Yes, Your Honor, for Florida Statute 907.041, subsection 3A, defendant qualifies for PTR with bond.
I forgot to mention, I reviewed the arrest affidavit, find that it's probable cause. I'm going to set your bond at $2,500 with PTR. Order no contact with the victim. No firearms or weapons. And to maintain separate residence. Judy Garcia or Judy Giroux. Okay, Judy Giroux. Name and date of birth, ma'am?
Judy Giroux, 10/1/1982.
All right. Ms. Giroux, you are charged with 1 count of child abuse without great bodily harm. I reviewed the arrest affidavit. I find that there is probable cause. You set your bond at $1,000. And as a condition, say no contact with the alleged victim. That's it. Thank you. Amber Neary. Neary.
Amber Neary? Is she here? She's not present, Your Honor.
Do you want to reset or you want to waive?
We can have it reset, Your Honor.
Yeah, we'll reset it. All right, Janelle Rankins.
Your Honor, she refused to come up.
Right.
She's in medical right now.
Let's reset that one too. Before we reset that one, that's all I have. Did I miss anybody?
That is all I have as well, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You have a good weekend, okay?
You as well, Your Honor.
Take care.
Thank you, you too.
It's good to see you. Off the record.